What's going on, guys? Apathetic here with all the tips, recommendations, and everything in between. And today I'm going to discuss how to get more random medals in Destiny 2 and why I think it's not as easy as it used to be. Let's get into it. Alright, so before I get into how you can get more random medals, I need to provide some context on how I came to discover these tips for myself. As you guys will see in the gameplay, I dusted off my Ace of Spades and decided to play a couple games, and before I knew it, I had two back-to-back random medal games. And I'm not gonna lie, it had been a long time since I gotten that medal, so I started to analyze why that was. Maybe I'm washed, but I don't think so, because in the current meta, we have so much more, one-hit kill, low skill ceiling weapons in the Crucible, thus making it harder to go on these longer kill streaks. Okay, got it, but what changed when I used my Ace of Spades that suddenly made getting these medals feel not quite as difficult? And it was the way I was playing using the Ace of Spades in particular that highlighted a lot of the mistakes I was making when using other loadouts. So the tips I'm going to provide you are based on bad habits I've developed in my own gameplay without even realizing it. And upon realizing it, I was able to apply these things to my gameplay that helped improve my efficiency no matter what loadout I'm using. Jumping into our first tip to get some more reruns, and it's to slow down. I realized from watching my gameplay that I'm showing you guys now that I was trying to play too fast, and that's something that a lot of players are guilty of. We are so eager to jump into the action or get back into the action after getting killed by Mountaintop or Controverse that our gameplay becomes almost reckless. We are speeding back into the action without paying much attention to our radar, where our enemies are positioned, how many of them there are, and lastly, making sure our position is in the best possible place for the engagement. Because I was using Ace and I was focused on proccing Memento Mori, I was playing much slower, focusing on the lanes and not constantly looking for an opportunity to rush in. And when I decided to rush in, I was able to do it with a lot more confidence because at that point it was a much more calculated decision. Overall, I would say I played much more patient when using Ace, and this style can be applied to spare rations or any other hand cannon with decent range. And what you'll find is you're not only racking up more kills, but you'll often be in better position to support your teammates. Slowing it down may seem simple, but you'd be surprised by how often our impatience gets the best of us. For our next tip, and this one may be a real shocker, but it's to utilize your special weapon less. And this ties really well into our first tip of slowing down, especially when it comes to our shotgun users. When using a shotgun, it's very easy to get caught up into how far the weapon can kill from and the amount of damage they do, and for good reason. Shotguns are very powerful weapons, especially in the hands of players that are great at closing gaps quickly. But what comes with that sometimes is over time, it becomes our default way to engage our enemy, and before you know it, you're using your primary less and less. Now, that's not to say you won't have success by relying on your shotgun or sniper, but what you're going to find is you're either going to be trading a lot, you're getting one or two kills but then getting cleaned up, or in the case of snipers, you're getting caught out of position from being in your scope so often. This was something that definitely stood out in my gameplay as a huge difference maker because I wasn't finding myself in these horrible positions, and my positioning overall was better because I wasn't constantly taking myself out of good position simply because I was looking for that immediate satisfaction that you can get from a shotgun kill. This also resulted in me using my special weapon, or in this case shotgun, more defensively. So it almost had the opposite effect on my opponents. They were the ones giving up their position, getting impatient and rushing unpredictably, allowing me to easily pull out my shotgun defensively and win the engagement. And it also set me up for future engagements because I never had to give up my solid positioning. For our third tip, it's to know when to disengage. And I know this sounds simple on the face of it, but I'm telling you guys, so many people have a problem with this, and it really ties into special ammo usage. Because you have a weapon or ability that has this high one-shot kill potential, it basically tricks us into thinking that we can take on everyone. So when we see our radar is basically soaked in red, instead of disengaging, we slide out with our shotgun or handheld supernova and try to make a crazy play and go in for that 7th column, and 99% of the time, we take one or two people down and die. Changing our mindset and understanding that while we have these strong weapons and abilities, so does everyone else, thus making it that much harder for us to come out of that situation in one piece. Just try this when your instinct tells you to slide out for the shotgun play or whatever, Instead, try focusing on finding and knowing your way out of that situation and living to fight another day. Don't allow yourself to get caught up in trying to kill 6 people when you know 4 out of the 6 have shotguns or some other ability that can also one-shot you. Once I became so focused on using my ace of spades, I watched in my gameplay how I was constantly trying to create space from my opponent and was always looking for a way out of a bad situation or a situation where I was outnumbered, and this also led to playing around cover a lot more. I was always near a wall or a part of the map where I could easily disengage if I wasn't able to secure a kill or there were more enemies than I realized. So challenge yourself for a game or two to follow this method of trying to create space and disengage more often, and let me know what your results are in the comments down below. Overall guys, I would say, and I guess this is a tip in itself, but it's watch your own gameplay. As a content creator, it's something you would think I do more, but sometimes you get so caught up in creating, you're not analyzing your own gameplay. So if you can analyze your gameplay and try to implement the things I mentioned above, or maybe you have other bad habits that are specific to your gameplay that you need to iron out, these things will allow you to stay alive longer and ultimately earn more we ran out of medals question mark. Thanks so much for watching, and if you enjoyed, please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.
Have no excuses. Look at you, at what one Guardian can do. With nothing but your ghost, your weapon, and